Hello junkies, my name is Bob and today we are going to be doing a smaller review. We're going to be doing the Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Ravage and Laserbeak. Now this is a 2-pack that comes from Hasbro. It is part of the Takara Tomy Transformers line. Now as you can see in the package we do get cassette tapes of both Ravage and Laserbeak, probably the two essential cassette tapes that came in the original Transformers line. They would obviously go into Soundwave. Now, of course, there was Buzzsaw, I think it was Buzz Off or Buzzsaw, and then there was also Rumble and Frenzy. So there was some other cassette tapes, but I would believe that Laserbeak and Ravage outside of Rumble were probably the two that were the most used. So I thought we would do a smaller review as we are celebrating Transformers 35th anniversary, and Hasbro has a More Than Meets the Eye campaign going on right now. I thought let's do one of the smaller things we got in the giant box of Hasbro goodies that they sent us for free, and let's do a small review on these two cassette tapes. So let's get to it. So, well, let's do the package. I mean, here I am. I'm really running to get into this toys, obviously. But we do have the characters here drawn out. Very cool. Transformers. This is ages 8 and up, which I think is kind of funny because I believe I was probably, well, I was about 8 when Transformers came out. That's about right. We do see that Soundwave is here. Now, we're going to be reviewing Soundwave later. However, I find it very interesting that Soundwave has the cassette tapes on either side of his arms. Why not inside? So this is a 4-step process. Well, 7 steps for Ravage, but 4 steps for Laserbeak, so that ought to be interesting. And it'll be interesting to see if there's actually any instructions, because it looks like there might be right there. So, you know, obviously once we open this, you can't really put it back into the pack. So let's take them out here. I don't understand why they do this tape thing, but let's keep this here. And we do have 4 tiny little, there's the plastic coffin, and then we'll just slide this bubbles out of the way. Now we do have instructions, and I always say you keep the instructions. This is great. I love the style of which Hasbro is doing this. This is very old school. There used to be a booklet like this that you got. So we have one at the top here, we have one at the bottom, and then on the back side we actually have you know, we have their skill levels, we have their, you know, we have their shields, their weapons, their strength, and then we do have where they belong on him, which I think is very weird that it does not go inside. So we'll find that out when we review Soundwave, which Hasbro did send us, but we don't have him today. So we have little plasticky rubber bands, which I'm gonna gently cut here. Cut away, always cut away. And then hopefully we can get them out of here. It's funny because these are literally all over the floor here where I do these reviews at the headquarters. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut my hand here. Got them out. Okay, so let's do, hard to do an instant poses with Transformers because they're just robots, and they're very articulated. So here, let's do Laserbeak first. So as you can see, very cool in the design, and I never had the original Laserbeak when I was a kid. I always wanted Soundwave, but it was one I never quite got. And they did sell the cassette tapes later individually, but you did get 1 or 2. I believe it was 1 for sure. But I never got the cassette tapes, which is weird. You think you would have, because they were in the cheaper side of the Transformers. But so let's do, that's Laserbeak, very cool. And then here is Ravage. Ravage is a little bit smaller than I thought he would be. I thought he'd be a little bit bigger. But as far as the design goes, we have the purple and the silver. I mean, it is Ravage in more ways than a Michael Bay Ravage ever was. So he's very nice. I like him a lot. So let's do the transformation here. And as I did this with the Gremlock, kind of leave the instructions out so you can kind of follow along of what I'm doing here. It's a little crazy. But let's do Ravage first. So Laserbeak first. So we're going to flip this back. That falls into place right there, and then we'll pull the head up, and then heads in. So we're 2. We fold this over here, and then we need to turn this around 180 degrees, and then the legs fall into place there. Now I will turn it 180 degrees. There he is. He's a cassette tape. I don't know if he's a cassette tape anymore, if he's a flash drive, but it doesn't really look like a bird anymore, so that's very nice. And we have a nice little Decepticon logo right there. Oh, this pops out, and it would fit onto Soundwave's arm, onto his shoulder. So that's where that goes. Okay, so let's flip this back here, and now I'm going to do this because these are so small. I'm going to actually see if I can get it go back. So we do, let's go do Ravage here. Sorry, I got to make sure I focus. So we'll do Ravage here. Looks like the head's going to go underneath, which is there, and then looks like, so that's this is step 2. We'll put these out. I'm already confused. It looks like here, and I already disconnected it. Okay. Oh, and a piece is lost. Well, that's why these are live reviews, junkies, because this highlights the everyday problems that we have with toys. All good, all back into shape. So these legs come in, very odd. And then these come out. Oh, there it goes again. All right, I don't feel as if I'm doing something right. Ah, there we go. Nope, that's the position I started in. So it looks like there's 2 pieces here that are not connecting properly. In my day, Transformers were made of metal. Yeah, they were. There we go. I'm gonna get that. There's a piece and a piece. I don't understand these. Now, I didn't break it. It's not fitting into place. Yeah, so there's my issue right there. This piece needs to go back in here, and this piece needs to go into there. So sorry this is taking longer than I thought it would, but wow. So there's a peg, and then there's the joint. And I'm gonna need some sort of screwdriver or tack hammer to lightly tap that back into place. But it is metal, that piece. But it is literally fighting me. There it goes again. So there you go, junkies. Yeah, Ravage is not he's not transforming properly. I'd like to say this is part of my fault, but I am just trying to get him to go back into place. And this is part of the modern day problem with Transformers, I guess, that there's a lot of plastic here and not a lot of solid pieces that enable us to put them back together properly. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing here. So this is a little, yeah. So his leg is off now. Oh, okay, got it. Sometimes the instructions are just way too confusing. And they used to be in color, to a point. I guess they were in color. Got to be fair to Hasbro and say, back in the day, they were a certain way. Well, it's a bit of a broader cassette tape. So I'm going to put this in first. I hope you can see this. I'm going to put this in. No, there it goes again. So this peg is out, and it is not going back in. And I wouldn't say I have big fingers either, as in like, I'm not a heavy set guy, but that is definitely not doing its thing. I mean, does that have to go like that? I got no problem getting Laserbeak in, but so as I look at this, that's my end goal, but it's just not happening. And he's supposed to, well, he's definitely a kitty cat, again. Oh, wow. It's almost too delicate. And as for a kid, I mean, 8 years old, I guess you'd have a little bit more patience than a 3 or a 4-year-old, but there's all kinds of things going on here. Wow. Okay. So we've got his back feet back together. To get the head out of there, I got the head back out. All right. So, or at least we're transforming him back, but I'm going to have to do some off-camera surgery to put Ravage back into place. Maybe if I put the arm and hit it from that angle. Okay, okay. So we got the kitty cat feet back there, okay. And then this to bring it in there. So that's my issue. Right there is where he's broken. This has taken way too long. But this is what happens when you have reviews of this nature. So the leg, there it is fine. It fits in perfectly. It's just, it's not connecting. And it just needs to, yeah. Now I'm going to force it. So he's back as a robot. Would he stay as a cassette tape? Probably most of the time, probably not. But this is Ravage, and it's like a key element to the Transformers. So, junkies, I have to say that I'm kind of disappointed. It's very fragile. It's very weak. I mean, it's a neat little toy, but as far as a Transformer goes, I expected, a little bit more durability, and it fell apart as we were transforming it, let alone putting it back together. I mean, here's Laserbeak, quick, easy, to the point. Like, we'll get his head back in here. We even have a joint for his head. Oh, okay. So there's his tail feathers, literally, and his engines. But he went right back into place. This is fine. But it's very fragile, but he even has like a neck, so you can kind of put the wings in and give him that little perch that he used to do on Megatron. So, Laserbeak's awesome. We had some problems with Ravage, but this is a very smaller price point on Transformers. I'm interested to see how he works with Soundwave, and we'll have that review up for you soon. Thank you, junkies.